Does masturbation protect the prostate or destroy it? Most men over 60 have silently asked themselves this question but never dared to say it out loud. And the shocking truth is that the answer is far different from what many have been told. What you will discover today may completely change the way you look at your health as you age. I am Dr. Mohit Kara, a men's health specialist and urologist with over 30 years of experience. In my practice, I have guided thousands of men through the challenges of aging, intimacy, and prostate health. I have seen men suffer in silence, and I have also seen them regain freedom, sleep, and confidence when they learn the science behind protecting their prostate. The paradox is this. Most men believe prostate troubles are simply inevitable, that waking up at night or struggling with a weak stream is just a part of getting older. But modern science proves otherwise. Prostate health is not written in stone. It is shaped every single day by the small choices you make. And here is my promise to you. In this video, I will reveal 5 daily habits that any man over 60 can apply immediately. They cost nothing, they are natural, and they are proven to ease symptoms, improve vitality, and protect the prostate against serious disease. Stay with me until the end, because one of these habits answers that burning question every man wonders but rarely asks: whether regular sexual activity protects or harms the prostate. The answer may surprise you, and it could become the most important habit you ever adopt. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video designed to protect your prostate and improve your health after 60. And I'd love your feedback. If you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me how I can make these lessons even more useful for you. Now let's begin with the very first habit, one that seems simple but has a powerful impact on your prostate. It's not about taking pills or complicated routines. It's about how you drink water. Strategic hydration can reduce irritation, ease nighttime trips, and protect your prostate every single day. 1. Strategic hydration. Drink smart, not just more. When I think back to some of my patients in their 60s and 70s, one thing stands out. So many of them walked into my office exhausted, frustrated, and even a little embarrassed. They weren't sleeping through the night because every couple of hours they were rushing to the bathroom. Some told me they hadn't had a solid night of rest in years, and what's heartbreaking is that they thought this was simply normal aging. But often, the root of their suffering was as simple as the way they were drinking water. You see, hydration is not just about filling a glass and gulping it down whenever you remember. As we get older, our natural thirst mechanism weakens. That means many men go through their day drinking far too little water until evening, when they suddenly realize they're thirsty. They then drink large amounts at once, often right before bed. What happens next? The bladder fills overnight, the urine becomes concentrated and irritating, and the prostate is left inflamed and under pressure. The result is restless nights, constant urgency, and the miserable cycle of waking up again and again. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be that way. Strategic hydration changes everything. Instead of waiting until you feel parched, you sip steadily throughout the morning and afternoon. This keeps urine light and diluted, reducing irritation to the bladder and prostate. Then, in the evening, you ease back. You still enjoy a small glass with dinner, but you avoid heavy fluids in the hours before bedtime. That simple shift allows your body to flush toxins during the day while giving your bladder and prostate a chance to rest at night. One of my patients, a retired teacher named John, tried this for the first time after I explained it in our visit. Within just a week, he was waking up only once during the night instead of 3 or 4 times. He came back to me almost in tears saying, "Doctor, I feel human again." Imagine what that does for a man in his 60s. Not just better sleep, but more energy, sharper focus, and even a brighter mood the next day. Sleep is freedom, and hydration is often the key to unlocking it. Research supports this too. A study published in the Journal of Urology, following more than 2,000 men over the age of 60, found that adjusting hydration patterns reduced nighttime urination by over 40%. That's a profound difference for something so small and so free. You don't need expensive medications or complicated regimens, just the awareness of when and how you hydrate. I encourage you to think of hydration as a daily gift to your prostate. Every sip you take in the morning or afternoon is like sending a message to your body. I care about you. I'm protecting you. And every time you wake up feeling truly rested, you'll know those choices are paying off. Now, if hydration seems simple, wait until you hear about the next habit, because this one involves moving your body in a way most men overlook, yet it has the power to improve circulation, lower inflammation, and even protect against diabetes, all by doing something right after you finish a meal. Would you like to know what it is? 2. A light walk after meals. Small steps, big results. Over the years, I have noticed a pattern among many of my patients. They finish their lunch or dinner, settle into their favorite chair, maybe turn on the television, and remain seated for the rest of the evening. It feels comforting, almost like a reward after a long day. But the truth is that this simple habit of sitting still after eating takes a quiet toll on the body, especially on the prostate. I remember one patient, a retired engineer named Robert, who used to laugh and say, "Doctor, I've earned my rest after dinner." But as the months went by, his prostate symptoms worsened, his waistline expanded, and his energy seemed to drain away. What he didn't realize was that his body was crying out for just a little movement. A light walk after meals may sound almost too simple to matter, but science and experience show it can make a powerful difference. When you take even a 10 or 15-minute stroll after eating, blood sugar levels stay more balanced, digestion improves, and circulation to the pelvic region increases. That extra flow of oxygen and nutrients to the prostate reduces inflammation and supports healthier function. For men over 60, this is more than just comfort. It is protection against enlargement and the frustrating urinary symptoms that follow. I remember urging Robert to give it a try. He started walking slowly around his neighborhood after lunch and dinner, nothing intense, just a gentle pace. Within weeks, he reported not only fewer urinary issues, but also less stiffness in his joints and a surprising boost in his mood. He told me, "Doctor, I didn't think such a small thing could change so much." This isn't just anecdotal evidence. Research backs it up strongly. A study from the University of Sao Paulo looked at older men who adopted this very habit. Those who walked briefly after meals were found to have a 35% lower risk of developing moderate to severe prostate symptoms compared to those who stayed sedentary. Think about that. No pills, no procedures, just a quiet walk under the evening sky or even pacing inside your own home. That kind of protection is accessible to anyone, no matter where you live or how much money you have. And it's not just the prostate that benefits. Walking after meals helps the heart, keeps blood sugar steady, and lowers overall inflammation in the body. All of these systems are connected, and when one improves, the others follow. For a man in his 60s, this means fewer medical worries, more independence, and the priceless feeling of being in control of his own health. I often tell my patients that these walks are not exercise in the strict sense. They are medicine, delivered through the most natural movement our bodies were designed to do. Now, if simply walking after meals can bring this much change, imagine what happens when we talk about intimacy and sexual activity. For many men, it's the most uncomfortable subject to raise with a doctor, yet it holds one of the most surprising secrets to prostate health. And once you hear it, you may never look at this part of your life the same way again. 3. Regular sexual activity. Nature's prostate cleanse. This is the point in the conversation where many men shift uncomfortably in their seats. Talking about sexual activity after 60 still carries a heavy cloud of embarrassment for some, and I have met countless patients who whisper their questions to me, almost afraid to be heard. I remember one gentleman, a proud grandfather in his late 60s, who leaned in during his appointment and asked, "Doctor, am I too old to still, His voice cracked with both humor and hesitation, but behind the question was a deeper fear. He wanted to know whether continuing to be sexually active could hurt his prostate or somehow make his condition worse. The truth is that this is not only a valid question, it's one of the most important ones you can ask. For years, myths and taboos have convinced men that their desire or ability to have sex naturally disappears with age, or worse, that it might be harmful. But modern science has given us clear answers, and they may surprise you. Regular sexual activity, whether through intimacy with a partner or through masturbation, is not harmful to the prostate. In fact, it is profoundly protective. Every time a man ejaculates, he is not just releasing tension or seeking pleasure. He is performing what I often describe as a natural cleansing for the prostate. Old secretions, dead cells, and toxins that might otherwise linger in the gland are flushed out. It is like rinsing a system that otherwise becomes stagnant. The evidence is compelling. A large study conducted at Harvard followed more than 10,000 men for 2 decades. It found that those who ejaculated at least 21 times per month had a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who did not. That is not a small difference. It is life-changing. Beyond this cleansing effect, sexual activity improves blood flow in the pelvic region, reduces stress hormones that fuel inflammation, and promotes relaxation in the muscles surrounding the prostate. All of these factors work together to reduce irritation, protect tissue, and support healthier function. When I explained this to my patient, his eyes widened, and then he laughed with relief. "So, you're telling me it's good for me?" he asked. I nodded and said, "Yes, it's not only good, it's one of the healthiest things you can do for your prostate at this stage of life." His shoulders lifted, and you could see the weight of years of doubt and worry fall away. That moment reminded me of how much misinformation still robs older men of both health and joy. So let me be clear with you. Maintaining an active sex life is not something to be ashamed of. It is part of caring for your body, your mind, and yes, your prostate. When done regularly, it is safe, natural, and profoundly beneficial. And if this surprises you, just wait until you hear what food can do, because the very next habit involves turning your daily meals into powerful medicine, with certain nutrients shown to actually lower inflammation and guard the prostate from cancer. Wouldn't you want to know what foods can offer that kind of protection? 4. Strategic eating. Food as medicine for the prostate. I often tell my patients that every forkful of food you put in your mouth is either working for you or against you. When you're younger, you can get away with greasy burgers, heavy meals, and processed snacks without feeling the consequences right away. But after 60, the body becomes far less forgiving, and the prostate is one of the first places to show the effects of a poor diet. I remember a patient named George, a retired firefighter in his early 70s. He came to see me with complaints of constant urgency and waking up 5 or 6 times a night. He confessed with a sheepish smile that his diet hadn't changed since his 20s. Fast food, red meat almost daily, and hardly a vegetable in sight. When I explained how diet directly impacts prostate health, he was stunned. "You mean to tell me my prostate is reacting to what I eat?" he asked. The answer is yes, absolutely. The prostate is sensitive to inflammation, and the foods we eat can either stoke those fires or cool them down. Take tomatoes, for instance. When cooked, they release lycopene, a powerful antioxidant shown to lower the risk of prostate cancer by nearly 30% in men who eat them regularly. Or consider something as simple as a handful of pumpkin seeds. They are rich in zinc, a mineral that stabilizes hormones and keeps the structure of the prostate strong. Then there are cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. These are packed with sulforaphane, a compound that helps your body clear out harmful substances and protects cells from turning cancerous. When George began to slowly change his meals, swapping fries for roasted vegetables, adding tomato sauce to his pasta twice a week, and sprinkling pumpkin seeds over his oatmeal, he noticed something remarkable. Within 2 months, his nighttime bathroom trips dropped in half. He told me, "Doctor, I feel like I've taken years off my body, and all I did was change what's on my plate." That kind of transformation doesn't require expensive treatments or complicated plans. It simply means viewing food as medicine, as a daily opportunity to heal instead of harm. And this is not just about preventing prostate cancer, though that alone is reason enough. It is about reducing inflammation, improving circulation, and supporting your body's natural balance. When you fill your plate with vibrant colors, reds from tomatoes, greens from leafy vegetables, a touch of seafood or lean chicken for protein, you're telling your prostate, "I am on your side." Every bite becomes an act of protection, every meal a step toward freedom from discomfort and worry. Now, if food can act as medicine for your prostate, imagine what happens when you let your body fully restore itself during the night. Because the next habit is something most men underestimate, yet it may be the single most powerful shield against prostate disease. It's not found in a pill or on a plate. It's found in the quiet hours of deep, restorative sleep. Wouldn't you like to know why those hours could mean the difference between sickness and strength? 5. Deep sleep, the silent guardian of prostate health. When I ask older men about their sleep, most of them sigh before they even answer. They tell me about nights filled with tossing and turning, about waking up 3, 4, sometimes even 6 times just to use the bathroom, and about mornings where they feel more exhausted than when they went to bed. I remember one patient, a former truck driver named Bill, who told me with tears in his eyes, "Doctor, I don't remember the last time I felt truly rested." His story is not unusual, and it breaks my heart because I know how critical deep, restorative sleep is for prostate health. During those precious hours of deep sleep, your body releases hormones that are like an internal repair team. Melatonin and growth hormone rise at night, and both play a major role in lowering inflammation and protecting the tissues of the prostate. Without enough sleep, stress hormones like cortisol take over, testosterone levels drop, and inflammation climbs higher. It's a perfect storm that leaves the prostate vulnerable. Research has shown this clearly. In a large study that followed more than 2,000 men for nearly a decade, those who suffered from chronic sleep disturbances had double the risk of developing aggressive prostate cancer compared to those who slept soundly. That should stop every man in his tracks. Sleep is not just about energy, it is about survival. What many men don't realize is that quality matters as much as quantity. You could lie in bed for 8 hours, but if your sleep is shallow, fragmented, or constantly interrupted, you miss out on the restorative phases where real healing takes place. That's why I encourage my patients to treat bedtime like sacred medicine. Create a quiet, dark environment. Keep the room cool. Turn off the television and silence the phone. Go to bed and wake up at the same time each day, even on weekends. These small adjustments can transform sleep from a nightly frustration into a nightly therapy. I will never forget when Bill returned to see me after making these changes. He had started dimming the lights an hour before bed, putting away his phone, and cutting back on fluids late at night. Within weeks, he told me, "Doctor, I feel like I've been given back 10 years of my life." His face was brighter, his mood lighter, and his prostate symptoms had eased. The power of deep sleep had restored more than just his nights. It gave him back his days. So when you think about your health, remember this: sleep is not wasted time. It is an essential shield, guarding your prostate, balancing your hormones, and repairing the damage of the day. And when you finally experience true rest, you'll understand why I call it the silent guardian of men's health. Now that you've learned all 5 of these powerful habits, let me tie them together and show you how they can completely transform your life after 60. Because protecting your prostate is not just about avoiding discomfort. It's about reclaiming freedom, energy, and peace of mind. Wouldn't you like to see what happens when all 5 work together? When I look back at the men I've cared for, the ones who thrive after 60 are those who commit to small daily choices: drinking water wisely, walking after meals, staying sexually active, eating with intention, and sleeping deeply. These habits restore freedom, dignity, and the peace every man deserves.